Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're situated on this great, big, beautiful blue globe floating through the void of Yah's creation. It's Wednesday, hump day. Don't be a chump day, and don't you ever crump day. It's a Wednesday version of the WTF Reports. I'm Dave vonKleist, your host. And exposing the media for their subterfuge and their lies.
You won't be trusted anymore.
All right. Okay, where do we go? Are you feeling like you're standing up in a hammock with roller skates on, juggling chainsaws? Well, I think maybe that's the whole point. We were talking about that yesterday. We are being psyoped to the max. Unbelievable. And it's the whole point of it is, like I said yesterday, is to keep everybody off balance. And it seems to be working. There's a lot of folks out there that are just shaking their heads, say, how do I keep up with all this garbage? Anyway, I'm going to get into a couple of issues today. And, of course, as always, the phone lines will be open. I'm always anxious to hear from you. 215-867-8255. Oh, and by the way, Wave Watch has got a special going on. Yeah, 15% off. So you're going to save like $150 or something like that. So if you haven't checked out the Wave Watch, hey, it's Rife technology you wear on your wrist. It's a Rife machine that you wear. It's really cool, folks. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, and the pop-up window will take you to a window where you can read all about the Wave Watch, the technology behind it, and why so many people are jumping on board, including Dr. Brian Ardis. You know Dr. Ardis? Yeah, he's been very vocal, very visible about pointing out all of the garbage about the COVID hokey-pokey thingy-dingy and the virus and all that stuff. So, he's wearing one, and I know that there are a bunch of other people out there that know about Rife technology, and they're wearing them too. So, anyway, check out the Wave Watch. You'll be glad that you did. All right, well, there is all kinds of stuff, ripple effect that is having with Joe Kent resigning. Now, I mentioned that yesterday. I read the letter that he wrote, a very public letter to President Trump. And, of course, now they're all jumping on him. They're saying he's weak and he's a traitor and he's this and he's that. Oh, no. No. If you know a little bit of the history about what Mr. Joe Kent has been involved with in the past several months, maybe it will become clear to you as to why he decided he had to resign and why the powers that be are shaking in their boots because of the fact that he is exposed so much. Let me take you back a few months, okay? In October 29th of last year, the Daily Mail reported the following. Kash Patel shuts down Charlie Kirk foreign intelligence probe in explosive feud with Trump's counterterror chief. In other words, Joe Kent. Now, the point is that, okay, let me scroll down a little bit here. In this article that was printed by the Daily Mail, it says the FBI Director Kash Patel crushed efforts by Tulsi Gabbard's closest advisor to see if a foreign power was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yeah. So Kash Patel shut down any inquiry into trying to see if there was a link between Charlie Kirk's assassination and some foreign power. I continue. It says the head of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, analyzed FBI files to determine whether Kirk's alleged killer received assistance from a foreign power. Kent's investigation alarmed Patel, who believed the counterterror chief was overstepping by interfering with an ongoing FBI investigation, according to the New York Times. Interesting. So, Kash Patel didn't want Joe Kent looking into the possibility that there was some foreign influence involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's really interesting, don't you think? So just put that on the back burner. Now I'm going to switch over here. There was an interview that Tucker Carlson did with Joe Kent, and let's hear what he had to say.
One last question, because he called it 60 years ago. You referred to what a war with Iran would do to the United States, and I don't know that a lot of people in this country fully understand what Iran is as a nation state. It's not Afghanistan. What do you think the immediate and then longer term effects of a war with Iran would be on the United States?
Immediately, it would be very bloody. I have no doubt that we could probably defeat some of their air defense and go in there and have another shock and awe campaign. But again, like we saw how the shock and awe campaign in Iraq really didn't actually work in the long run. So I have no doubt that we'd have some immediate results that people would cheer about here in the United States. But Iran, Persia, has always been an empire. It's been around longer than any of the other players in the modern Middle East right now, and they are not going anywhere. And right now, Iran has a lot of internal problem. They have a lot of internal strife with the Ayatollah and that government that's only been in power since 1979. But again, if we start conducting strikes in Iran, everyone in Iran will rally around their leader, and they will become even more revolutionary. And then we will have Iranian proxies throughout the entire region that will be conducting attacks just like we had in Jordan. And really, in the long term, Tucker, the axis that has been built really since Putin invaded Russia, and we decided that since Putin invaded Ukraine, and we decided we were going to throw this massive sanctions package at them, China has come in as a major player, and we are deeply compromised by China. They control a lot of our economy. They control global manufacturing. They're deeply embedded in Wall Street, and they've also made deals with the Iranians. They want access to Iranian petro, not to mention the fact that Biden killed off U.S. energy independence, and now he's going after LNG, and the world's biggest LNG exporters are Iran, Russia, and Qatar. So this axis will become very powerful. If we get deeply involved and deeply entangled with Iran, we are playing right into China's hands, because China would like nothing more than for us to be committing our military industrial base to a war in Eastern Europe, in Ukraine, and then to be committing our conventional military power, our blood and our treasure, back in the Middle East. That will make the Pacific, our actual border, extremely vulnerable to Chinese aggression. Or China will simply just watch us bleed out economically as we bleed out on the battlefield on these couple different theaters. It's absolute insanity. It's opening up Pandora's box. And again, for what gain to the American people?
I mean, I think that's the most reasonable, common sense-based, factual assessment I've seen of this from anyone.
Isn't that interesting? Okay, so, I mean, this guy, Joe Kent, he didn't fall off a turnip truck. This guy did 11 tours. I mean, this guy is a badass, okay? I wish I could say the same as some of the people in Trump's cabinet. But there are so many different puzzle pieces, so many turning gears in this particular issue. Now, more and more people around this country, and indeed around the world, are looking askance at Israel. Of course, Israel has wrapped themselves in the flag of Judaism, saying you can't criticize Israel. You're an anti-Semite if you do. That doesn't wash anymore. I mean, this whole anti-Semite thing, I mean, that's like calling somebody a conspiracy theorist. I wear that as a badge of honor. The conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000. We're right every damn time. Anyway, the point is, though, is that this guy was calling it out. Now, another puzzle piece here. Ari Larijani is a very, very high-ranking official in the Iranian government, okay? And he posted on the 15th, which is only, that was Sunday. Yeah, 3 days ago. He posted the following. He said, I've heard that the remaining members of Epstein's network have devised a conspiracy to create an incident similar to 9/11 and blame Iran for it. Iran fundamentally opposes such terrorist schemes and has no war with the American people. Unquote. Now, he posted that on Sunday. Now, what's really interesting is that more and more people are starting to realize that, yes, the actions being taken by the United States military and the Israelis are not being done on behalf of the American people. You know, most of the American people don't want this war. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. People don't want World War III. I mean, that's just common sense. Nobody wants World War III to happen. But the point is that as Joe Kent had pointed out in his letter, it's become painfully obvious that our government is no longer working to represent the interests of the American people. Our government has now been hijacked, commandeered by a foreign influence. Now, you can call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. I don't care. I really don't care. I mean, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it swims like a duck, it's not a moose. The bottom line here is we all know that Israel has got, America's, family jewels in a vice. That 93% of Congress is paid off by Israel. Okay? I mean, President Trump has received $230 million from AIPAC. And then on top of that, what's her name? $250 million from, I'm having a senior moment. What's her name? Oh, gosh. It'll come to me in a couple minutes. But he's just taking in all this money. Oh, here's another story as an aside. Check this out. Okay, Trump makes the announcement, all of these, these drones that people buy at Walmart. You could buy a drone, $100, $200 or something like that. But they're all made in China. All the drone technology has been made in China. So all of these people that are buying drones and stuff, all that money's going to China. So he decided that we're going to cut that off. We're going to have American-made drones. And everybody goes, yeah, rah, okay, yeah, USA. We're going to have American jobs and we're going to be manufacturing our own drones. But what you don't know is that Eric Trump and Jared Kushner have purchased controlling interests in 3 of the domestic drone manufacturers. So they get controlling interests. They take over the manufacturing. And then Trump says, hey, we're going to have American-made drones. I'm telling you, we continue to trust such a small group of men who have robbed us before, and they'll do it again. Yes, they worship the dollar, the silver, the gold, and they haven't a soul. It's already been sold. So anyway, getting back to this issue about Ari Larijani, he put out a warning. There's a lot of folks that are now talking about a false flag. They're saying, yeah, we're going to get a false flag. It's going to be Iran for sure. They're going to release drones in the United States. Stop. Back up a little bit. Remember, we've been hearing about 4 drones gone missing from Fort Campbell. And now they're trying to minimize that. So, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. They only offered like $5,000 reward for the recovery of these drones, right? So wait a second. How does that happen? How do military drones go missing from Fort Campbell? Okay. Now, also, let's just, keep putting puzzle pieces together. Which foreign country is known for doing assassinations and false flags? Which country do you think does that? By means of deception, thou shalt do war. Yeah, there's a country out there that does this on a regular basis. So the point is, if there is going to be an attack on U.S. soil, would it likely be Iran? Or might it be some other country that would do it and then blame it on Iran? Now, again, this guy, Ari Larijani, said, Iran fundamentally opposes such terrorist schemes and has no war with the American people. Well, guess what? He put that out on Sunday. He's dead now. Yeah. How and why did that happen? There are powers that be that do not want the American people to know what is coming. Now, let me see. There are several other things I wanted to get to here. Let me see. I've got going through all these different posts that I've got here. Okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, Newsmax. Oh, okay. Yeah, Carl Higbee was talking about Joe Kent also. There was another post. Let me see. Where is it? There are so many people out there that are doing the research. And they're, we're talking about internet sleuths we're talking tens of thousands. We're not just talking about Candace Owens or Ian Carroll or Ryan Mata, or Eric Warsaw or Dave Smith or Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes. There's so many more that are doing independent research, and they know how to do it too. But the point is, though, is that as more and more people are doing the research, they're putting the puzzle pieces together. As a matter of fact, there's a young woman that connected some dots that you may want to hear about. And this, of course, has to do with Ali Larijani. Larijani, that's how you say his name. Ali Larijani. Okay, so anyway, this was posted by, Medias Charis. And I'm going to let her explain this. She connected some dots and did a pretty good job. Listen to this.
Stop scrolling. You need to stop scrolling. And you need to listen to this, because all the research I've done all day, all the reporting I've done all day has just snapped into place. And I think I know exactly why certain things are happening right now with Iran. I've made 2 videos today talking about Joe Kent, who up until this morning was the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center director. He resigned this morning after being like Mr. MAGA head extraordinaire, right? And I talked in these videos about wondering why he would do that. And earlier this evening, I posted my daily Substack article all about Ali Larijani and how we had received breaking news this evening that last night he was killed in an Israeli airstrike. And if you don't know, Ali Larijani was the secretary of the Supreme National Security Council of Iran.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right there. He was the top of the food chain when it comes to negotiations. I just thought I'd put that in there.
Meaning, even though he wasn't such a good dude, we still needed him to be alive, because if we were going to talk to anyone in Iran about diplomacy, ceasefire, peace, etc., it was going to be him. So then I went over to Ali Larijani's X account, because I knew that he was someone who was very active on this social media platform, often, giving threats to the US or threats to President Trump himself. And I found this post from 2 days ago. It says, and this is translated from Arabic, it says, "It has been reported that what remains of Epstein's network is working to prepare a conspiracy aimed at fabricating an incident similar to the September 11th attacks in preparation for accusing Iran of being behind it. The Islamic Republic of Iran categorically rejects such plots and terrorist operations on principle and does not wage war against the American people." So,
okay, I'm pausing that for a second. As you're already aware, I've already read that tweet or that post or whatever. But it bears repeating, because this is not Iran's modus operandi. That's not the way they play the game. No, they don't do it that way. There's another foreign interest that does that all day long, because that's what they do, okay? They're God's chosen people. They could do anything that they want. Anyway, I'll let her continue.
So while we have to take everything with a grain of salt here, I'm pretty sure Larijani is saying, we recognize the American people are not attacking us. It is this crazed madman that is Donald Trump. So again, that tweet was sent out on the 15th, 2 days ago. So 2 days after sending that message out to the world, Larijani turns up dead. And even if there is only a small glimmer of truth that was sent out from Larijani's warning to the world, then that would explain why Joe Kent decided to walk away from his position as director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center today.
Okay, I'm going to pause it again. I want to remind you, I just shared with you that last October, it was Kash Patel who was blocking any effort by Joe Kent of looking into foreign influence in Charlie Kirk's murder or assassination. That's very important. We cannot forget about that. I mean, I've been saying for the past couple of weeks that the Americans, are very easily distracted. And it's understandable, because we've got one controversy, one scandal, one horror, one murder after another, after another, after another. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I keep on saying that. And it keeps everybody off balance, like I said. And the point here is that Joe Kent was drawing attention to all of these, shall we say, anomalies. I'm going to let her continue. Go ahead.
Why would he walk away as a MAGA loyalist, as a basically white supremacist, as someone who wants a national abortion ban, as someone who said that J6ers were political prisoners, why would he walk away from all of that? Because at the end of the day, while Joe Kent may very well be a MAGA loyalist, womanizing, bigoted, racist, etc. type of person. Okay,
I'm pausing it because those are the attacks that they're putting on him right now. They're calling him all kinds of stuff. They're doing everything that they can to discredit him. But I'm sorry. I think it's the opposite. The more, the more that they attack him, the more it adds to his credibility.
He is a Green Beret who served for 20 years of his life and did 11 tours of duty. And I think if there is any line in the sand, it is the idea that he would even play a little bit of a role in having to lie about terrorism in the United States when it was really our own government who attacked and killed and injured the American people. I think that would be the one line in the sand for him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Okay. Well, she's bringing up some good points. Now, again, when you connect all the dots, you start to realize, you have to ask the question, que bono, who benefits? Okay, who would benefit from taking out Ali Larijani? Who would benefit from that? And it's no secret now, Iran was at the table not once but twice to negotiate to avoid all what's going on right now. And both times, in the middle of a negotiation, they were struck. That's not exactly showing good faith. And so, Iran has dug itself in, and they will not negotiate anymore. The old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, the United States and Israel have very clearly demonstrated disingenuous effort to avoid war. Okay? They want the war. This has been Bibi's, wet dream for 40 years. Or 30, I should say. At least 30. We got him on video back in 1995 screaming about Iran's going to have a bomb within a matter of weeks, maybe a month. And that's been going on for 30 years. We all know that Israel has been desperate. I mean, they've got their Greater Israel Project. And we know that Israel has an undue influence over our entire government, not just the government, folks, but I mean all of our infrastructure, all the banking, all the media, agriculture, big pharma, porn stars, Pornhub, Hollywood, television. They control everything. We have been taken over. And I don't care what Jonathan Greenblatt says from the ADL, the Anti-Defecation League, because they're full of crap. You can't criticize or draw attention to the undue Israeli influence because that makes you an anti-Semite. I'm so sick to hearing about that. Anyway, I already went down that path. But there are powers that be out there that are so desperate to discredit anybody who's drawing attention to these issues. As a matter of fact, there was a post by Clandestine, and I'm going to read this post. And it says here, take this with a grain of salt, folks. It says here, now that things are unfolding in Iran, I think it's safe to conclude that the sharp rise in anti-Israel obsession on social media was not organic. Okay, let's stop right there. What do you mean it's not organic? Are you saying that there are people that are being paid to put out anti-Israel posts and criticize Israel's intentions? I don't think so. I don't think any of the social media posters out there are getting paid, to criticize Israel. On the other side of it, we know that Israel is paying social media influencers to post pro-Israel stuff. $7,000 a post. Remember that? Shik-shing, shik-shing. Yeah. Anyway, I continue. It says here, I believe the deep state media apparatus went all in on anti-Israel propaganda because they knew this was coming. They knew Trump was going to use the U.S. military and the IDF to purge Iran and their terror proxies in the Middle East. I think the Jew/Israel obsession was a very precise and purposeful psychological operation. Oh, I see. So we get to watch for 2.5 years bombing the snake snot out of Gaza, massacring men, women, children, destroying hospitals, schools, mosques, all the infrastructure. Oh, that's a psychological operation to make us hate Israel? Is that right? Okay, if you say it's a psyop. I go back to the read here. It says they were targeting Trump's supporters via social media and preemptively getting them to hate Israel. So when this strike on Iran arrived, they could try to turn Trump's supporters against him in a last-ditch effort to hold off Trump in the midterms. Meaning that the likes of Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, Dave Smith, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and the rest of the Jew-obsessed social media influencers were either knowingly or unknowingly pushing Iranian deep state propaganda. Oh, gosh. They and all of their followers and supporters are pawns in a military-grade psychological operation to destroy MAGA from within. It wasn't an accident. It was a targeted disinformation campaign. This rant is from someone who's absolutely delusional. You know, it's again, don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying ears. So they're saying that this is definitely a propaganda push by Iran. Yet it's not organic at all. The hell it's not. We've seen this going on for the past 2.5 years, and people do have a legitimate opinion on how they feel about genocide. And God forbid you should voice that and point the finger, the accusatory finger, in the direction of the attacker, and you get called a Jew-hating anti-Semite. This is madness, folks. America is indeed waking up.
Get More Tank will save you money every month on gas. Get More Tank is a tablet with active ingredients that adds big mileage to every tank. Made in America, the Get More Tank formula is used by trucking companies and heavy industry. Now the Get More Tank formula is available to you. Get More Tank works in any gas or diesel engine, cleans your engine, lowers emissions, and you'll feel improved engine performance every time you step on the gas. Get More Tank works for cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, four-wheelers, mowers, and blowers. Hey, if you got an engine, then Get More Tank. Contractors, electricians, plumbers, painters, and lawn service companies, Get More Tank will save you money and extend the life of your engines. If you're an owner-operator running your big rig around the town or across the country, Get More Tank will save you money too. If you're a farmer, all of your equipment can use Get More Tank. A 5-pack on sale at GetMoreTank.com for just $22.22 plus shipping. Use the promo code REDPILL101 and get 10% off. Save your money, save your engine, save the earth at GetMoreTank.com. Get More Tank is EPA registered, doesn't void warranties, results vary.
And you can get more tank by visiting our website, The WTF Reports. And when you click on the sponsors page, it'll take you down to a window. It says Get More Tank. And when you click on that, it'll give you all the specifications and details as to why and how this fuel catalyst works so well. And I don't need to tell you about what's going to be happening with the price of fuel. With the Strait of Hormuz being shut down and no end in sight to where the escalation of this war is going to go. I mean, people are talking about $200 a barrel for oil. You know what that's going to do to the price of home heating and gasoline? It's going to go through the roof. So now more than ever is a good time to consider using Get More Tank, because in a lot of situations, you're going to see a mileage increase of 15 to 20%, depending upon your make, model, and year of vehicle and your driving habits. You'll get more power. Your engine runs cleaner, which is good for the environment. And like I just said, you get increased mileage, which means money in your pocket. When you become a regular user of a regular user of Get More Tank, you will see that a $20 purchase with the promo code gets you 5 tablets and 1 tablet per tank. And if you're getting 20% better mileage, that means the 5th tank is free. So do the math. You spend $20 and the 5th tank is free. It's a no-brainer, folks. Get More Tank. Go to our website, TheWTFReports.com, click on the sponsors page, and get more tank. Okay, Shannon Joy and Michael Yon were talking, and they're basically, she's saying that a revolt is brewing around Trump. Listen to this.
It is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. What are your thoughts on that? Because that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
I was wondering why Joe worked for him to begin with. You know what I mean? He's on a private chat that I set up years ago with key people, some of whom some of those names you'll definitely know. And so I'm going to ask Joe when we get offline. You know, but at the end of the day, there is a revolt going on around Trump. There is a serious revolt. I'm getting that from multiple directions. And
yes.
If you're sticking with Trump now, like Joe needed to leave Trump. If you want to keep traveling overseas, you're facing, being arrested somewhere, right? This is a big deal. There are obvious war crimes being committed, right? Like genocide. Gaza is absolute genocide. Israel just yesterday and the day before threatened to genocide Lebanon the same. The war that they've started with Iran, the attacks that they've done are absolutely illegal. They're absolutely war crimes, right? You could absolutely be arrested and be capital punishment. I mean,
yeah. So, and by the way, Michael Yon, he knows Joe Kent personally. So, anyway, yeah. But let me see. I wanted also to give you another perspective. An Iranian woman posted the following, and she's speaking in English. Her accent is a little difficult, so I will read the translation here. She says, "Hey, American leaders."
Hey, American leaders, I just wanted to apologize to the United States of America on behalf of all the Iranian people. I apologize to you that we established our country in the middle of your military bases in the Middle East more than 2,500 years ago.
Okay, I'm going to pause it. Did you hear what she's saying? I'll tell you what, because the audio is a little tough, but you really need to hear it. So let me back that up. She says, we apologize to the United States of America on behalf of all the Iranian people. We apologize to you that we established our country in the middle of your military bases in the Middle East more than 2,500 years ago, before even the United States of America existed on a map. I apologize to you that we failed to consider your desperate need to our national oil and minerals to remain so-called greatest country in the world. I apologize to you that we Iranians failed to starve in Iran after more than 40 years of the heaviest sanctions imposed on us under the excuse of fighting against terrorism. I apologize to you that they failed to accept your generous and fair offers in their negotiations so that you had to waste billions of American tax dollars for attacking Iran. I apologize to you that we failed to remain silent before Israel's genocide of Palestinian women and children so that Netanyahu had to drag you into this war at the cost of American lives. I apologize to you that our leaders were not corrupt to be in the Epstein file, unlike Trump, who had to attack Iran to distract the American people from the fact that their country is running by a bunch of satanic pedophiles. And at last, it says here, the 5 Iranian schoolgirls happen to be in the way of your missiles to reveal how honestly you really care about human rights. I really apologize for that. Anyway, okay, that's it. It was not the 5 Iranian. I went too fast there. It was 175. So, yeah, she's apologizing for all the crap that we've done to them. Yeah. And I find that really curious. Yeah, we've got all of our military bases surrounding Iran, and she's saying, we apologize that our land is here for 2,500 years. I thought that was brilliant. Oh, man, there's so much. Anyway, the phone line's open if you want to join me, 215-867-8255. And, the situation that we're in this country right now is dire. And it's not going to get any better until the American people roll up their sleeves and get involved. Now, on what level and what they have to do, that's going to be up to the individual. But the bottom line here is that we love to sing along with Lee Greenwood, I'm proud to be an American, et cetera, et cetera. Well, you know what? I just need to remind you that we cannot ever be the land of the free unless we're willing to be the home of the brave. That means it's going to take courage. That means we're going to have to make sacrifices. Okay? Oh, I don't want to go to that demonstration. No, I'd have to take time off from work. Oh, no, I can't go out there and stand up for the Epstein transparency. You know, a lot of folks are going to get all pissed off about it. You know, people are scared to take a stand. But, you know, if our country's going to survive, we have to. We have no choice. Anyway, it's like, what's it going to take? Come on, America. Come on. Get with the program. Seriously. This is something I wrote 25 years ago. Come on, America. Come on.
Opinions expressed by our numbers that grow may tell you some things that you don't want to know. You can say that we're crazy. You can call us a name. But unless you do something, the result is the same. For unknown generations, we've been living a lie. While some struggled for truth, many others stood by. Is the spirit within you? Do you think that you'll try to look for the answers and ask your lawmakers why? So come on, America, join in the fight and resist their corruption with all of your might. You can hide in the darkness or stand in the light. No, your God won't be with you till you do what is right. We continue to trust such a small group of men who have robbed us before, and they'll do it again. Yes, they worship the dollar, the silver, the gold, and they haven't a soul. It's already been sold. And they say that we're liable, and they say that we owe, and if we don't pay their tax, off to jail we will go. But we've checked out the law, and we've studied their code, and when it's all understood, not a penny is owed. So come on, America, don't hesitate. We must all stand together before it's too late. So many before you were willing to die, and if you sit and do nothing, your children will cry. And they created a villain, they say he's the one who's destroying your freedoms, and a war has begun. But the ones with the power legislate every day, passing laws that are taking your freedoms away. And to all those in uniform, please understand, we're not clenching our fists, we're extending our hands. You can ask any veteran, he'll tell you it's true that your Washington leaders don't care about you. So come on, America, now is the time for exposing their fraud and uncovering their crime. If we sit and do nothing, we forever will be to blame for the fall of our liberty. If we're to be honest, if we're to be just, we must live by our motto, in God we will trust. You don't have to believe, and that is your choice, but opinions don't count if you don't raise your voice. Now the time's finally come, we must all take a stand and tell your brothers and sisters, help them all understand that your freedom's been stolen, the line's crossed in the sand, and if we turn from the wicked, he'll come heal our land. So come on, America, join in the fight and stand up to the tyrants with all of your might. You can hide in the darkness, you can stand in the light. No, your God won't be with you till you do what is right. If you love your country, you'll join in the fight and stand up to corruption with all of your might. We won't hide in the darkness, we'll stand in the light. Yes, our God's truly with us, 'cause we're doing what's right.
It's out of there. Most Americans aren't. Most Americans aren't.
Come on, America. What's it going to take to get you off of your big butt? Get involved. Roll up the sleeves. Be a patriot. Anyway, let's see. It's 15 minutes before the top of the hour, and I'm going to go back to this Joe Kent thing. There's an interview that he did 2 years ago, and this was in August of 2024. And anyway, well, here's a little piece of it. I believe that he was talking to Sean Ryan. Here's a little post of that.
Most Americans aren't aware of it. Our troops in Iraq and Syria have been attacked 150 plus times by Iranian proxies. And when we say Iranian proxies, we got to be clear on what that is. That's the Iraqi government that we pay. Because after the Iraqi military, we spent $2 trillion on, surrendered to ISIS, we had to go back in there in very short order and stand a military back up again. And guess who filled the breach? The Shia militias controlled by Iran did. And the Iraqi government's controlled by Iran. So these Iranian proxies that are attacking our troops are 100% funded by the United States of America. We're funding the guys that are attacking our troops. And so it's like, well, then why do we leave our troops there? And that's always been my question. I think we should have had them out a long time ago. We can get into it when we talk about my late wife, but she should have been out of Syria because Trump gave the order to get those guys out of there. Most Americans aren't aware of it. Our troops in Iraq and Syria have been attacked 150 plus times.
Okay, it's repeating now. But he was talking about the Iranian proxies. Okay, now a lot of people say, and they reference, Al-Qaeda or ISIS or the Taliban, or whatever. But time and time again, remember when Tim Burchett, about 3 or 4 months ago, he was discussing the fact that the United States is funding the Taliban to the tune of like $40 million a week. So we and then remember when the withdrawal from Afghanistan under the Biden administration, and we left like $280 billion worth of heavy equipment for the Taliban to fall back on. How convenient for the Taliban. And we know that ISIS is, whenever there's an ISIS soldier that is injured, where does he go to get treatment? He goes to Israel. Wait a second, I thought Israel, how come ISIS never attacks Israel? Okay, we know that Hamas was a creation of Israel. So like the song just said, yes, we created a villain. They say he's the one who's destroying your freedom and a war has begun. They create the villains to justify the constant bleeding of money that goes into the military-industrial complex. I mean, the whole thing is sort of like a big money laundering thing. We send billions of dollars over to Israel. In return, Israel turns around and purchases all of these military stuff, the Raytheon, Glaxo's, Halliburton, et cetera, you know who I'm talking about. So, I mean, they create all of these problems to justify the constant military action. Now, you stop and think about it. Yeah, I don't want to sound like an idealist or a utopianist or something like that, but I mean, for crying out loud, how many hundreds of trillions of dollars have been spent on war in the past century? Maybe not hundreds of trillions, but trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions. What if that money had been redirected to build up infrastructure and to take care of our bridges and our roads? And, how many families could have homes? If we redirected that money to build stuff instead of blowing stuff up, maybe this world would be a different place. And those of us that speak out, what was it? Somebody posted this. They were talking about, all these movies that we watch about the resistance, and we always side with the resistance. But when it comes to reality, it's crazy. Because you can ask, anybody, man on the street, hey, do you trust your government? Most people would say no. But then when you criticize the government, they're usually the first ones to defend it. It doesn't make sense, but that's how people's brains work. I don't get it.
So you watched the Hunger Games and you sided with the resistance. You watched Star Wars and you sided with the resistance. You watched The Matrix and you understood and sided with the resistance. You watched the movie Divergent and you sided with the resistance. You watched V for Vendetta and you cheered on the resistance. When it's fiction, you understand and you side with the resistance. Yet when it's happening to you in real life, right now, in the news, in the world, right now, you refuse to see it. When it's the reality that you are living in. You're afraid to resist in real life. Blows my mind.
Yeah, blows my mind too. Blows my mind too. Eric Motsas posted the following, and this is rather interesting. The question is, how long do we have before things drastically change in America? Here's the answer. This is Eric
to the
Weinstein.
Average person, I would say get your board in the water and prepare to paddle like all get out. The tsunami of a lifetime is coming, and nothing your elders have seen is going to prepare. There's no good advice to give that's specific. Let's put it this way. One of the things when people tell me about their moving from one city to another, I have a phrase that nobody likes, which is every place is over. Oh, I'm moving to Austin. Yeah, it's over. Miami, it's over. Nashville, over. You know, all these places are over. And every occupation that is named is over. I'm going to be a dentist, radiologist, accountant, teacher. These are all over. Whatever's coming, get flexible. Get good. Get good on a bunch of different stuff. Learn how to think across disciplines. I have no idea what's going to be left for us. But, you know, somebody's going to come out on top. And I hate to tell people that you should try to come out on top. I don't think it's healthy to have everyone trying to be world class. I think you should be able to just have a life. And I have a golden retriever. I don't know that it's the greatest golden retriever in the world. Sometimes I think it is, but he does a lot of dumb stuff. But he's my golden retriever. I just don't think it. I think that this mania for optimization, like if you look at your own videos, you'll find some of the best performing videos are, this is how to succeed. This is how to get anyone you want. This is how to get out of a bad situation. People just want capacity. But for what? Okay, you've optimized your day. You've optimized your health. Your social media is optimized. Now what?
So now what? I mean, it's not a very optimistic picture, folks, but we got some very difficult rows ahead of us, and it's unavoidable at this point. So, like he said, get your board in the water and start paddling like hell, because for the most part, all of the things that we have on our to-do list, and they're over. And unless things change drastically very soon, yeah, we're going to be in for some very, very difficult times, historically difficult times. Okay, let's see. Susie Rizzo posted the following. This woman who has some direct knowledge of what's happening in Iran said that the girls' school that was targeted a targeted mark by the U.S. was a private girls' school where the Iranian officials sent their daughters. She also says that there are already thousands of U.S. troops who are likely dead. Oh, my.
So the United States government has forgotten to mention that the first school, because there are others now, the first school that the United States government has bombed in Iran was a private school. And those were children of Iranian officials. So that was a mark, a direct mark. The shame and disgrace as an American, I feel, is overwhelming. School children, direct targets. Nothing more than the playbook from that blue and white counterfeit country.
I'm going to kind of pause it right there because that school was double tapped. I mentioned that yesterday. Remember that video several months ago about the hospital that was hit by a missile, and all the first responders and health providers and journalists descended upon the scene, and the families came running to help with the injured and the dead? And as they all converged on the scene to help the injured, a second missile hit to take out all the journalists and the doctors and the civilians. That's a double tap. Well, that's exactly what happened to that girls' school, and there's no justifying it.
Now being utilized by our government, if you can even say that, because our government has been gone for a long time.
Yes, our government has been taken over. And God forbid anybody should actually say that, because you'll be immediately accused and labeled and attacked, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention that the United Kingdom's Secretary Advisor attended the U.S.-Iran talks and judged the deal. A deal was within reach. But the point is that it says here, Iran, a reluctance that has put the U.S.-UK relationship under unprecedented strain. The United Kingdom saw no compelling evidence of an imminent threat of an Iranian missile attack on Europe or of Iran securing a nuclear weapon. This is the first time it's become clear that Britain was so closely involved in the talks and so had good reason to decide whether diplomatic options had been exhausted and a U.S. attack was necessary. So the UK is now saying, hey, wait a second, we're going to take a step back from this. And well, they should. This is a big, big mess. And we can thank Jared Kushner for being the voice whispering in President Trump's ear. Remember that scene in Lord of the Rings when that king had the spell over him and he was like old and decrepit, and there was this evil minion next to him? Yes, my liege. Yes, yes. Well, that's sort of like what's going on into Trump's ear and has been going on. And this is exactly why Joe Kent resigned, because of the influence, the undue influence that Israel has over our president and our military. And it all comes back to the Epstein files. As a matter of fact, they're now trying to say that that anybody calls this the Epstein War is to be attacked and discredited and deplatformed and all the rest of this stuff. So you can't say anything about a distraction. And I've said this before. If there is a huge, gargantuan, behemoth, monstrous scandal that they want to cover up, or they don't want people paying attention to, then you have to create an even bigger, an even more monstrous, a larger behemoth controversy. Well, I mean, let's face it. The Epstein files and what has been revealed, and they haven't even revealed everything yet. I mean, they haven't even gotten into the Pizzagate and the satanic, all that stuff. We all know that it's there, and we all know a lot of the perpetrators too. But the point is that we know how big that controversy is, and we also know the intelligence group that was behind the honeypot videos. Well, they had to create another distraction, and bingo, here we got it. We're on the cusp of World War III. Like I said, the bigger the scandal, the bigger distraction they'll need to take the attention away from the scandal. And that's what we're witnessing now. It's in 3D. It's in real time. So, anyway, okay, I'm scrolling through. There's still more information here about Joe Kent, but I'm flat out of time here. So I will, in the closing minute here, I will ask humbly and respectfully that if you enjoy this broadcast, then please do business with our sponsors and maybe even pick up some merch. We've got coffee cups, baseball caps, T-shirts, et cetera, and it's great. The WTF Reports logo is right there, and I got my buddy Mike had a nice hoodie made for me. So, but anyway, yeah, to keep us going, on the air and paying the bills, etc. Then do some business with our advertisers. Get more tank. Pick up a Wave Watch, and we would definitely appreciate that. Anyway, that said, oh my gosh, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We'll have to see. It's just a crazy, crazy world. And keep in mind, folks, that all these things that we discuss are all connected, and they're all important. The Charlie Kirk assassination, the investigation into Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, Ryan Mata, all of the sleuths out there, we should be paying attention to all of them, because that's where we're going to get the truth. You sure as heck aren't going to get it from your mainstream networks. Okay, that said, it's going to wrap it up for our Wednesday edition of the WTF Reports. And as always, if you enjoy the broadcast, click like, share, subscribe, make a comment, and spread the word. Word of mouth is the best advertising. So, God willing, I'll be back tomorrow with more of the news I hope and pray you never hear. I'm Dave vonKleist. These are the WTF Reports. God bless you all. Stay safe, stay free, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.